We've made our way away from the deserts of Bahrain to the country of Italy and the city village surrounding the Imola circuit. Welcome to the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. It's our second stop on this 2021 campaign. Lewis Hamilton taking victory last time out in Bahrain. But after this as well, we are off on the 30th of April to the 2nd of May for round 3, the Portuguese Grand Prix. Then we go to the Spanish Grand Prix in the 7th to the 9th of May. Monaco a couple of weeks later before Azerbaijan. On the 11th to the 13th, however, of June, the Canadian Grand Prix, which is currently looking to be cancelled and possibly replaced with the Turkish Grand Prix. The French Grand Prix returns to Paul Ricard on the 27th of June. Austria the first weekend of July. The 4th of July we go racing. Mark your calendar for the British Grand Prix on the 16th to the 18th of July. The Hungarian Grand Prix is on the 1st of August before the 3-week break for the summer, before a triple header in Belgium, the Netherlands and Italy. Russia on the 26th of September, followed then by Singapore, the longest race on the calendar, just always hitting the 2 hours distance. Then on the 10th of October, the Japanese Grand Prix before we go stateside on the 24th of October for the Circuit of the Americas. Mexico on Halloween, the Day of the Dead. The 5th to the 7th of November for the Brazil Grand Prix. And then we get on the 21st of November, the Australian Grand Prix. Saudi Arabia makes its debut on the 5th of December. And the season rounds out in Abu Dhabi on the 12th of December. In terms of the Drivers' Championship, Lewis Hamilton leads the way on 25 points after victory in Bahrain. Max Verstappen is second, followed by Valtteri Bottas, Lando Norris, Sergio Perez, Charles Leclerc, Daniel Ricciardo, Carlos Sainz, Yuki Tsunoda scoring points on debut, and Lance Stroll is P10. In the Constructors' Championship, Mercedes lead the way on 41 points, but only 6 teams do score points, followed by Red Bull, McLaren holding on to 3rd, Ferrari 4th, AlphaTauri is 5th, Aston Martin 6th, and then no points for Alfa Romeo, Alpine, Williams or Haas. It's the 2021 Emilia Romagna Grand Prix here at Imola. It's time for the afternoon session on a Friday. It's free practice 2. Let's take a look around Imola, the 3.05 mile 19-turn circuit 1 DRS zone for the 2021 Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Start the lap then here at Imola. Down to turn 1, the Tamburello chicane, tight on the entrance as well, and on the exit, changed of course back from 1994, this entire section leads down towards the Villeneuve chicane. A possible overtaking opportunity. Of course, it saw Christian Alba's roll here the last time we raced in 2006 when he was hit by Yuki Ide. Now down to the Tozaku second gear corner as you rise up the hill before the Ravazzas. Take the curb on the inside, get the power on mid-exit, and then rise up. Ravazzas 1 and 2. The Akibirama Arena corners as well. This place is absolutely awesome as you fly past, keeping the throttle on mid-corner as you drop down towards the Akibirama 1 and 2 part of the track before coming up to the chicane at the top of the hill, which is absolutely terrifying in real life. You climb up the hill controlling the oversteer, and then you have to aim your car towards the inside of the track. It is terrifying, believe me. Bounce over the curves normally. Track limits will be a warning here as well if anybody goes too wide over the green rumble strip. Drop down the hill now into what is the heaviest braking spot on the track as you are continually trying not to lock up your tyres and go straight onto the gravel trap, as we've seen so many cars do. Now the last corner's changed here. This is it. And as we approach the line, the new pit building on the left, building in the early 2000s as well, just after F1 left. No chicane now, full throttle as you come onto the start straight now and across the line at the gantry. That is a lap of Imola. Hello everybody and welcome up to the commentary box for free practice number 2 for the 2021 Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. We're almost ready to go, so we're going to introduce you to the watch along now with the FIA graphics. We look along the city and the outskirts of Bologna here in Italy. It is round 2 of the 2021 Formula 1 season. The Formula 1 Pirelli Gran Premio de Made in Italy del Emilia Romagna Grand Prix here in Imola in Italy. It is a 3.05 mile circuit, that's 4.909 kilometres, a total of 19 turns, 1 DRS zone as well. The lap record of 1:15.484, the times to beat. In terms of action zones, well, at the Tamburello last year, Verstappen right round the outside of Valtteri Bottas, making the manoeuvres. Down at Tosa in 2005, Schumacher went for the move on the last few laps of the race to try and get through on Fernando Alonso. It did not work. And down at the Paratella, turn 9, the sweep uphill as well. Right round the outside, Kvyat got through on Leclerc. Leclerc ended up going off the track as well. In terms of tyre compounds as well, your 3 usual tyres to keep an eye on, the C4, the C3 and the C5. All the tyres this weekend as well. It's an abrasive circuit. Everyone out this morning was using the hard compound tyre and the medium. So expect a lot of running when we go green in about 3 minutes' time. The countdown to green is here, which is what we should have actually called it. We were debating, should we call it the countdown to green, the countdown not to green? What do we call it? And we just left the timer on. So maybe the countdown to green would be a better one for tomorrow. Track temperature is at 13 degrees. Track temperature is at 25 degrees. Air temperature is at 13 degrees as well. So it's chilly, 13 degrees, but track temperature is looking good. As well as Ian Burch just walking into the back of the commentary box. I'll get nice and close in on the camera lens so he can walk in and grab his headset. He also, by the way, has a coffee alongside. How the other half lives, eh? Because a coffee alongside as well. There you are. And you can sit through that for the remaining hour. 2 minutes 13 to go. What, sorry?
Apollo 50.
Apollo 50, yeah. Do we have to get this one involved? The radio mic for you to listen to at the moment, Apollo 50. But yeah, we're almost all ready to go then for this session. The timing graphics, I'm delighted to say, are slightly working, which is a better thing than earlier on. But Ian Burch, alongside me in the commentary box, they got 50 minutes of running this morning. They lost 10 minutes due to a red flag. And now we're about to see why this hour format works, as everyone's going to cram out doing their race runs now.
I think they've got to, because they didn't do it this morning. They didn't get through. A number of the teams found foul of the new regulations of an hour. You can't just rest on your laurels. If there's going to be red flags in the sessions, it's going to put you back.
Yeah. You were talking about the old school paddock area. Look how tight it is at Charles Leclerc's garage.
These are basically garages for MotoGP. It's not.
Yeah, they're tiny for F1 cars.
They're tiny for F1 now. You have to have at least 2 or 3.
Speaking of tiny, there's Yuki Tsunoda. That was a nice segue. The graphics finally working as well, by the way, so everything's going to be working A-OK for FP2.
And we have the on-air sign working.
Yeah, I managed to plug that back in after it wouldn't work this morning. I think it was because the HDMI splitter was there as well. And he became the first Japanese driver to score points on debut last time out in Bahrain. We've had a couple, Yuki Aidi and Takuma Sato, Japanese drivers. But there's Sergio Perez, ready.
Nakayama used to be brilliant. Yeah. He used to go along the straight like that.
Kamui Kobayashi as well.
Because his neck wasn't as good as the...
No, yeah.
Yeah, he had an injury to his neck. And so he used to wobble his neck as he went along.
And finally, He
was one of your mum's favourite drivers, he was.
He was, wasn't he? I forgot that, yeah. Session countdown, look, 13 seconds to go. They must have seen what we did this morning, and they've taken it as we've got a countdown. Getting ready for the green flag. It'll reset to 59.59. And then the race for the practice is go. Green light, and the session is underway. Here for free practice too. Lando Norris is out there just ready to head out. Looks like McLaren have got a bigger garage compared to Ferrari though, which is surprising. Maybe Ferrari have been shoved in the Moto3 garages, as we often see. But who's headed out on the track? Russell, Ocon and Raikkonen going out. The driver tracker still isn't working as far as we can tell, but usually... oh, there it is. It's working. We've got Russell out there too.
Russell out there now.
And here is the Alpine. of Esteban Ocon. It was announced in between the sessions as well. The stewards looked at the incident involving him and Perez, and it was deemed that no further action would be taken because both of them turned in to turn 3 and 4, the Villeneuve chicane, at exactly the same time, and it just caused a collision. If F1 was having problems this morning...
One was going slower than the other, but I think Christian got it the wrong way round.
Yeah, it was Gasly who was on a slow lap, Ocon was on a fast lap. But yeah, what happened also...
Not Gasly.
Perez. See, there you go, with Red Bull. But
I think you'll find, Joshua.
Yes, I think you're right there, Martin. But still, what happened the other day as well, we had a power failure just before the session started. So the teams had no access to the F1 telemetry data, no access to anything else.
They didn't have it.
No. And they didn't have radios.
Pinks didn't have commentary.
No, Pinks didn't have anything like that as well. And Sky have actually had to rip out their commentary box and put separate screens in to get them all working. So everyone's been having a really bad time of it over there in Imola. We're working just as normal. Everything's working for us over here so far.
Yeah, the Amsters are going well.
Yeah, but...
look at them go.
They
must be the fittest Amsters we have ever had.
Well, the reason as well that with that accident happened this morning between Perez and Ocon is because they had no radios between their drivers either. The radios were down as well because of the power lines. So a complete graphic and
Still
power
don't
failure.
like the green on the engine cover.
Oh, of the Ferrari, the mission winnow statement. Doesn't look that good, does it? There's your new start camera, by the way, for when the lights go out on Sunday to get a better run.
And this is the camera that provided us with shots of anything this morning because it was the only camera working.
It was the only one, yeah, for about, 10 minutes? We didn't have any cameras on the track.
And we've got quite a lot of cars on the track now.
14. Only Norris, Latifi... Oh, no, Norris has now come out on the track. So it's Latifi, Mazepin, Gasly, Perez and Verstappen not out there.
Lewis is in a Ferrari sandwich.
Yeah, he's got right between Sainz in front of him with Leclerc behind. So it's all going to be a bit... who's going to break first there, but everyone's going out straight away.
And Giovinazzi, Mick Schumacher, suggests that young Gio is wearing the same underwear all weekend.
I wouldn't be surprised, you know. There we go, just moving out.
He did point
graphic.
out that he washes them out between sessions.
Oh, yes, of course.
David Coulthard way.
Okay, Synthor's back in. Hope your test went well this morning, by the way, Synthor's all. And he's asking, let's start with a question. And I'm going to have to zoom in a bit because I thought I'd zoomed in a lot, but I can't see that. So let's see if I can zoom in a lot quicker. I'm trying, but it's not letting me. I think I've zoomed in the maximum on the pop-out.
Yeah, well, I was reading it and you
There
couldn't.
we go. Let's start with a question. Do you think Mazepin will perform better at the end of this season? You think he'll be able to get where the T4 Stroll is, brackets other paid drivers, or do you think he'll continue spinning a lot and driving like this?
I think it's a bit rough on Stroll and Latifi to put him in the same bracket as Mazepin.
Yeah.
Stroll's got amazing talent, right? He is the real deal. Latifi is mediocre.
Yeah.
But has showed enough to say that he can control a very bad car very well. And Mazepin is totally out of his depth.
Yeah.
Right? But the kid will learn, you know. And yes, by the end of the season, if he's still there, because his dad's bankrolling the team, because Gene wanted to pull out.
Gene wanted to end it last year before coming in, but he's gone with the Concord agreement and stuck with it. So, yeah. Mick, I can see a comment here from Benno Gaming as well. Mazepin still learning the has some problem with the rear and caused Mick
It's in a very
Bahrain.
bad car, if not the worst car on the grid now.
It's terrible, but also I did mention that in Bahrain actually after we saw the accident for Brief Yellow was out on the circuit as well. It's still there. It's gone out now, so we go back green. I said as well.
Iverson, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I said as well in Bahrain's race commentary, I think it's a bit unfair that we said to Mazepin, he's lost it on his own accord, because Mick then spun. But seeing this, yes, the
Mazepin has decided that the cars are too hard to handle in wind.
Yeah.
And that's his excuse.
Radio. Gasly just been told that Sainz is going by and they're doing build-up laps.
It had nothing to do with the fact that Mazepin was positioning his car in the wrong bit of track at least 4 times in one lap.
Yeah, and both times he spun coming out the last corner as well. That was down to him.
There's Lando taking a little trip across the gravel.
That's at the Villeneuve chicane as well. Exactly what Verstappen did this morning. But yeah, so the Haas does have a problem with its rear of the car, but Mick is controlling it. But Mazepin does seem to have he can't seem to catch the car back. He can't seem to save it. And what happened this morning at the end of first practice, his second spin of the session was, he got on the gravel, he corrected it, and the car was fine, but then his reactions took over, and he overcorrected and flung it towards the pit wall.
Little Nando there doing the same, putting it on the gravel.
Yeah.
What a great race he had last time.
Oh, yeah. Lando's
We got a
good.
first and fourth for this country.
Yeah, not bad at all, was it?
Not bad. I mean, we've lost Alex, but we've still got George in a bad car at the back. And we've seen what he can do in a good car.
Benbow Game is saying people are making fun of Mazepin because he spun, but Mick also did, and no one made fun of him. Well, no, I think the reason everyone's directing hate towards Mazepin is because
it's the way he drives.
Yeah, it's the way he drives, what happened last year, but it can't be ignored. Yes, the Haas does have a problem with the rear of the car. I said in Mazepin's defence, and I hated saying that Mick did spin in Bahrain, but the fact is that Mazepin keeps
isn't positioning his car on the right bits of the track.
It's the fact that he keeps doing it.
He's taking the apexes wrong.
Yeah.
He's braking is wrong. He's clearly a GP2 driver in a Formula One car, whereas Mick is showing improvement every lap he does.
Yeah,
and that has been the Schumacher philosophy. That your next lap's your best lap.
And I think it's Ralph did it, Michael did it, Mick's now doing it as well. But yeah.
Lewis does it.
Lewis does it as well, yeah.
Lewis does it. What's gone is gone.
Mazepin seems to...
But you've got to see improvement.
Yeah.
And you are with Mick.
For psychological reasons, I think Mazepin, his last lap in Bahrain, the first lap of the race, ended up in the wall. His first lap out the pit lane in this race, he's off the track again.
His uncle Ralph said that the thing is that, he's beating his teammate and he's improving with every lap he does.
Yeah.
And, that is what Ralph has been putting into him. He's got to improve with every lap.
Yeah.
And Mazepin could do with just, every time Uncle Ralph's there giving his wisdom,
talking to Ralph.
He should be listening in.
Yeah.
Rather than, thinking he knows best. Because, this morning was embarrassing.
2 spins
at
the same point.
at the pit lane entrance.
Yeah.
When you've got what I think he had 12 cars on the track,
and they were all having to drive past him.
And they all had to drive past him. He wasn't embarrassed.
Yeah.
Everyone else would have been, oh my God, what have I done here?
Yeah.
Mazepin wasn't embarrassed. He was blaming the car again.
Martin Brundle's out on the track at the moment, which I think is great to see at the moment.
There's large parts of this track which show their age, and Martin is at one now.
I think he's down at 5 and 6, which is coming. That's the inside of Tosa, and not to be
beautiful track.
It's at Villeneuve, yeah.
It's a classic track.
And I've often thought when I finally do get the chance to walk around Imola, I'm going to feel the ghosts of the past a lot, and you're going to feel the history and the accidents there as well.
The accidents that have occurred at this track are amazing. We didn't only lose Ayrton and Roland. There's been other people. We were saying this like 6 months ago when we were here last time, that it is possibly the most dangerous track in Formula One.
Yeah.
But that's what we want in Formula One. We want to improve the safety and push it to the limit so that it's scary.
Yellow's out on the track somewhere on the monitor. I'm not sure where because the driver track is not showing it. Sorry, I just hit you. You're right. Can't see anything at the moment, and it's not showing anybody. But it's not Mazepin. He's in the pit lane still. And it's Max Verstappen. And
he's parked up.
It's Max Verstappen who was stopped out on the track. Virtual safety car has been deployed, and this is disastrous news.
Try taking your
wheel off.
Your steering wheel off and putting it back on again.
He's getting out of the car.
That was what was the problem with Perez.
Box if you can over the radio. Max saying he doesn't know what was happening, But he's coming out of the last, so he's into the last corner. We're watching replay now. Let's listen.
He just lost drive.
That's exactly what happened to Perez.
Yeah, if you look, there's
Steering
nothing
wheel's
on the
off.
steering wheel.
So it's a technical glitch again. That's costing them.
Yeah, he's trying to get that steering wheel back working.
The radio still works.
Yeah, but
something snapped
it's
on the
drive
rear.
shaft.
So the drive shaft's broken, the steering wheel's gone off. Oh, he's got it back.
Oh, he got the steering wheel working then.
So the drive shaft's broke, and it shut the car off as well. Then that's something that we haven't seen before.
If it's a drive shaft, it's more worrying than the steering wheel. We can replace the steering wheel in 5 seconds, and you know. But
well, the good thing is he's broken down at the pit exit, and that means they can easily just get that car back into the pit lane. Ricciardo's coming in to change tyres, and they can easily just get it back round the pagoda there and back into the pit lane, so it won't be that disastrous a session for Verstappen. But he's losing crucial time here as we go back to green. He's losing crucial time for race data tomorrow, and this gives advantage back to Mercedes.
I said about the reliability of the Red Bull. It's not been as strong as the Mercedes over the last few years. But you can't see into the future and say to guarantee that. But statistics show that the Red Bull is a lot more problematic than the Mercedes has been.
So Max Verstappen walks back in past the policeman alongside as well, and the marshals following him back. TV pictures getting a brilliant coverage here. And now they need to bring that car all the way back down this road and into the paddock area and get it back, because he needs to have time.
It's more police than we have at Silverstone.
There's a lot more police, isn't it? There was a whole lot of them in there, as we see Daniel Ricciardo, who has he come into the pit then yet for his tyre change? No, and front wing adjustment as well. Bembo saying, do you think Mazepin will have a seat next season? Yeah, unfortunately, I think he will. He needs to improve a lot, but his dad's brought the team basically. Nucleari.
What's the last comment?
No. Dan, I presume that's for Verstappen stopping on the track.
Yeah, because quite a few of you were saying this morning that you think it's Red Bull's but we were saying that reliability might be a problem.
And it's happened.
That's happened straight away in practice too.
Disastrous news.
Also,
as well.
you know, if people might have noticed a little bit of difference in the fact that it's only an hour session for practice 1 and 2 now. So we have to concentrate more on what's going on and less on the things. I mean, there's been quite a few other things that's happening off the track at the moment. For a start, what we predicted before the start of the season is happening. In the Lawrence Stroll is getting together with Toto Wolff and making a complaint about the FIA being the people that did the rule change, that it was actually F1 that did the rule change, which has severely affected the Aston Martin, severely affected the Williams, and severely affected the Mercedes cars. They say it's unfair, and they want an investigation into it, and they want some kind of change to the regulations during the season. And that's quite interesting there. How did they change it without the FIA being the people that actually change it?
I must admit, that's interesting.
And we also found out yesterday another thing that's off the track, totally different though.
Yeah.
We don't know if it's anything to link to it, but Jean Todt will not be able to stand
for re-election.
Re-election as FIA chairman, president.
Which I found interesting because Max Mosley did it for 4 or 5 terms. Jean Todt's doing it for 3.
Yeah, and you know, John's not doing a bad job, so something's gone on there that we haven't found out about.
I've got my spies out.
I mean, there was this situation with
I like how did
Ferrari get away with what they got found guilty of?
I wonder if somebody's put that over the shoulder of Jean Todt here and said that, but And
Aston Martin got away with, copying the car.
Yeah. There's a couple of things here. And, of course, it's not just F1 as well. As Gasly's that time has been deleted by the stewards. It's dropped him down to 14th
Formula
place.
1's always been about pushing the limits of the rules and regulations. But just in the last year or so, and since Charlie died, we've had so many situations.
Yeah, it's weird. And
that wouldn't have appeared with Charlie and
Yeah.
his lordship in charge of Formula One.
Bernie.
We're not allowed to mention Bernie's name,
Oh,
even if we're having a coffee.
I forgot about that actually because Bernie got
Bernie?
excommunicated, didn't
Bernie's
he?
coffee.
This is Verstappen again on the radio. Ah, look, it was over the curb, and look at the drive shaft broke at the right.
Yeah, it did.
So it's on
I'm
that
not
curb.
allowed Bernie's coffee because it's not decaffeinated.
No, you're right there. I think he does do a decaffeinated one. I'm having a look at the moment, and I can't see anything wrong with the tyres. But if it's drive shaft, of course, it's
It's his
more
wife who's
involved.
the expert on coffee, mate.
Fabiano.
That's what their family do.
Yeah. We've got some comments coming through as well. Looks like it will cost Red Bull a title challenge on this evidence. With the issue in Bahrain as well, that would be a shame for the fans. Yeah, that was some JD as well.
I didn't know. They must have had some telemetry back at base saying that there was a problem as well because of the fact that they notified the driver that it was the drive shaft quite quickly.
Straight away, yeah.
Rather than, because I mean, I'm sure
It was coming out the last
he was
corner.
going to do
yeah.
the same as what Perez did, take the
Wheel off and
wheel
put
off
it,
and
yeah.
put it back on again. The old turn it off and put it back on again and see if it works.
And he did, but if it did for Perez, hasn't for Max.
Well, what a great! If Perez had just left that car,
Oh, he wouldn't have scored points.
he wouldn't
yeah.
have got a podium.
Yeah,
Did he
would
get podium?
No, it was
Fourth.
Bottas. Fifth.
But he's still got major points for Red Bull.
Yeah.
From a disastrous start in the pit lane.
And he likes that track. He liked Bahrain an awful lot. Seymour Copan asking, will Max beat Lewis? In total, will Red Bull beat Mercedes? Well, I think Red Bull will beat Mercedes in the Constructors' Championship. I'm not sure between
I
Max
think
and
in
Lewis.
the fast straight tracks,
Yeah.
if we go to them, then
Who are we
Red
next?
Bull will dominate.
We're Portimao next, aren't we, in Portugal, where MotoGP is this weekend?
Yeah, I still think Mercedes have the advantage in the corners.
Yeah, for sure. They've got that big one.
So any track that's got a lot of corners, which this one hasn't actually,
No.
will be a Mercedes track. And I think you're going to have that all year. But what we were saying this morning also is that we feel that the experience of Lewis won him that race.
Oh, completely in Abu Dhabi, in Bahrain.
Not only
yeah.
did Mercedes make the right calls at the right time, everybody thought that it was a wrong decision to keep on them tyres.
Yeah.
But he kept on those tyres
And he lasted
till the end of the race.
And we thought that wouldn't happen. That's why Verstappen was able to catch up to him so much.
This is a really bad track to overtake on.
We saw last year, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's only 6 months ago, isn't it?
Round about November.
November.
The first weekend in November. So
Just over 6 months ago,
Yeah.
we were last at this track.
it's weird to think that. Benbow Gaming saying, what do you think will be the driving lineup at Mercedes next season? I think it'll be Russell and who's alongside him? I'm not sure whether it'll be Bottas or Hamilton. It'll be Russell.
I like what. Yeah, Russell could go to Mercedes. But I like the way that's questions asked.
Yeah.
Has Perez changed his driving style where Alex didn't he?
Yeah,
And
Perez has.
Perez
Yeah.
has changed his driving style to fit the Red Bull car, which is all designed around Max.
He said it's going to take about 5 races to properly dial in.
Gasly and Alex didn't do that.
No, and
And
they tried to adapt their own style and it didn't work.
the irony is that a lot of the development of this car has been done off track by Alex.
Yeah, Alex, this is Gasly's radio we're hearing in our ears. And Gasly's saying he's damaged something running over the curbs at the Villeneuve chicane.
Yeah, some of them are too high at this
Yeah,
track.
well, as I said earlier, MotoGP curbs, they're FIM standard because World Superbike race here, MotoGP have got a reserve race here. They used to race here back in the day, but the curbs are higher so they can get the knee down and scrape through the corners and hook them up nicer. But yeah, Perez has changed his driving
Yeah,
style.
we won't. Have you done MotoGP yet?
We don't do the
Practice
sessions. We
one.
don't do the sessions here on YouTube, but we do the race. But you can talk about MotoGP.
Well, Alex Marquez did a reasonable thing, but when you're talking about Marquez,
It's the brother.
it's got to be the brothers back.
Yeah, Marquez
Mark is
returned.
back.
I did
And
see it. Yeah,
with,
I
with
scanned
30 seconds to go on the last lap of practice, he was topping the timesheet.
over. I know. I hate that. I said it to you. It's the fact that he's...
No, I don't. I think it shows the immense... The difficulty with Mark will be when he
falls again.
And lands on that shoulder.
Yeah.
And that we'll see. I mean, that was the downfall of Cal.
Yeah, Cal Crutch.
Cal got back on the bike with his foot, and
it was so close.
It was okay until he had that bad crash again.
Sam Lowe's cost him the Moto2 title last year because he crashed in warm up, and it was really hurting for the race. He couldn't push.
You see, they do have this situation where they have a on the back. The reason that their overalls stick out at the back is that there is an airbag system in place. That as soon as the airbag key is pulled away from the bike, it sets the airbag off, and the whole of the suit. So that's why they have hand and foot injuries mainly in MotoGP.
Because Alex explosion.
Sorry, Alex. Mark's shoulder was done dirt biking, I believe.
Yeah, dirt biking was his second one.
Yeah,
after the crash
the brothers have always done.
Yeah, Mark's was a bit silly because he crashed off at Jerez in the first race, and the bike hit the back of his shoulder. He had surgery, came back the week later, did a couple of laps, and then pulled out the weekend. Then he was almost better, went dirt racing as well, did it again, had another surgery, then did it pulling open a French door. So he lost all of last year. And Dovey had some shoulder injuries as well.
It was obvious. I mean, he for a start, he should never have got the cast taken off his arm so quickly because it was not set. And so when he pulled the door, it just pulled it apart.
Yeah. And race control, that time deleted for Leclerc, track limits at turn 9. That's the top of the hill. So he did go fastest, Leclerc, briefly, but he's just been dropped down again.
Charles has just said, you can't do that. I'm a personal friend of the Prince.
Seymour Copper saying, we saw some overtakes by Kvyat at the restart last year. Yeah, up at the top of the hill you can overtake, but it becomes very much quickly pack racing. The only reason last year's race got good was because of the safety car.
It's a break late circuit for overtaking, isn't it? You've got to do it on the corners and outbrake the other guy.
Perfect example of how difficult it is to overtake here. The 2005 and 2006 races, Alonso versus Schumacher. Schumacher was on the back of Alonso for the last 15 laps in 05, couldn't get through. A year later, Alonso was on the back of Schumacher the last 15 laps, couldn't get through. It's a difficult circuit to pass at. And Tamburello is probably your best overtaking opportunity. Because it's a flat, you break down from 8th gear down to 5th, and you're still going over 200 miles an hour at the exit. It's incredible the amount of speed you can take through it. I mean, I seem to remember Top Gear doing it, and they could go through it about 190.
And of course, we've lost the downforce by the new regulations on a lot of the cars. I did notice this morning that, and I noticed Ted didn't pick up on it either.
Yeah.
But the wake on the Mercedes seems to have increased.
I've seen that ever so slightly on the floor.
It's ever so slightly at the back, which is an adaptation.
What I like as well, just looking at the AlphaTauri as well, as I spotted in pre-season testing, they've got a different floor configuration than what they had previously. They've tightened up their inside line. The front of the car is a lot messier than the back, so they've catched up the aero on the front of the car to hook it around, which seems to be working quite well. But
it's quite interesting that new trial front wing that was left out by mistake by McLaren and gone over by Ted and his cameraman.
The hole.
The holes. The reason they have those holes there is to just throw the air onto the tyre itself.
Yeah.
So that the tyre distributes the air as well as, you know.
Oh, this is interesting. Sainz got the last 2 corners wrong, took a big curb and oversteer, and it already looked like there was something wrong, and he's boxed straight away. So
all these little veins that you see on Formula One cars, like you just saw on the Ferrari there in front of him, they're all designed just to pull the air just to the left or the right.
If any of our listeners are watching at the top of the programme as well, it's just been written up by Dieter Renken, who has got a quote from Gunther Steiner here saying that Mazepin needs to learn our car isn't as good as the Mercedes. That's quite a big punch there, isn't it?
Well, I think that stems from the fact that last year's Mercedes, his dad hired it
to test,
and a driver to show him how to drive a Formula One car. Now, that's rich.
Yeah, that is pretty rich as well. I remember that. We just heard away a couple of moments ago, George Russell was boxing. He's complaining the rear tyres overheating a lot. He can't get them to work. And this is the first run any of the teams have done on the soft tyres.
I suppose those little air holes in the front wing of the McLaren could actually, at high speed, help to cool the front tyres, but you don't want them cooled too much.
Lose front grip, don't you? That's where the DAS system I think would come in handy, but they've banned it for this year. And that Raikkonen's car,
don't you think that McLaren have been the innovators this year with the new front wing, with the holes in to disperse the air better, the monkey box to gearbox.
Yeah, the double ear fins sort of thing.
Yeah, to stop because you've got to lose 20% of the
downforce
at the back end for the diffuser. But
and they've redesigned their diffuser to work,
Yeah, so they've just redesigned it. It goes now it's part of the gearbox covering now. And so that's perfectly legal.
I love what everyone was saying when it was announced, and that's Hamilton going for a warm-up lap, but he stopped at the racing line. The stewards won't like that. Lewis stopped there in the middle of a corner. Who's got behind him? Russell, a couple of seconds back. But he won't like that as well, as it's audio up, so I can have a little bit of audio in my ears. I'll talk you through a lap, actually. So, down towards turn 1, flat out, DRS open, 8th gear, maximum speed. Hit the brakes, drop down, 5th gear, flick the car through Tamburello 1 and 2. Rise up the hill towards the Villeneuve chicane, use the exit curbs, 2nd chicane, it's identical to Tamburello, drop down, 8th gear to 5th. Squeeze it through, uphill towards Toza. You do feel the uphill. Hug the inside line as well, drop down 4th gear, accelerate at the exit, use all of the exit curb that you're allowed to as you rise up towards Aquafibriare number 1. Flick the car down as well into Perietta, drop down 3rd gear corners. Now, Ravazza 1 and 2, the trickiest points of the track as well, because you've got to keep the car planted for just a split second before you flick it uphill once again to the right. Now, into Aquafibriana 2. The chicane area, 2nd gear corners, bounce through one of the curbs. Runoff was a little bit okay there from Hamilton as you drop down the hill into the last 2 corners. And when you're on a driver's eye as well, you can see the apartment buildings ahead of you. It's almost like you're going to crash right into them. Drop downhill automatically, about 4 stories down. Flicking through the last corner through 4th gear. Flat out to the line, which is just across the control. And it's a 1:15.672 for Hamilton.
Perez, the last of the Red Bulls in this practice session, is just gone up to 7th. He's going to have to do the work of both him and Verstappen now to work out what they actually do for the qualifying practice 3 tomorrow.
And this is Leclerc going off the gravel, and that is how you control a Formula One car, Nikita.
The strange thing is that the 2 Ferraris are actually doing quite well in this session.
Yeah.
Sainz is leading Leclerc by just a fraction. 400.
400, yeah, that's amazing how close that is. 400 separate.
And they're in 4th and 5th place. You know,
Gasly's P2.
This has been a bad performance for Red Bull.
At the moment as well, Gasly now for AlphaTauri's P2, which is good. It
suggests that Red Bull do have a problem, doesn't it?
Oh, hello, we've got some images here at the moment from the Red Bull, and look at that. They've experimented with a new diffuser. Well, I'll save that, and I'll use these in Development Corner for Sunday's show, because I want to see that and analyse, because
did you notice go back to that picture?
Hang on, let me just get these saved.
It's based on the gearbox. It's connected to the gearbox.
Yeah.
Like the McLaren is.
Yeah. I wonder if I can get that to the computer. No, I can't.
Have you got a rear view of the McLaren to see if they're just copying the McLaren?
I do, actually, yeah. I've got from pre-season testing, so I don't have it on my phone, but I'll grab that. And
look there.
There's a triple vein.
The triple vein leads into a cover for the gearbox, which is what McLaren are doing.
If you want to see this, it's at T Gruner, Toby Gruner as well, who's on Twitter, and I'll retweet it now as well. So
Great
go to
picture.
Yeah, at Joshua Burch 99.
They're going to hate that.
They are. Red Bull said in the tweet they're not going to be happy about those images we got, and I'll put that in Development Corner for the qualifying show tomorrow. and have a quick look at it, because
Where
that
was
is a
it where
fantastic
the
shot.
where was it where the they didn't put the crane down enough and it hit the top of
Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan.
The Williams with Russell's car. We were talking about it in FP1
Yeah.
actually, weren't we? Perez has gone P6 at the moment, improving up. Here's Lando Norris in the McLaren. And McLaren with a Mercedes engine at the moment, and they were strong in Bahrain as well. I think the biggest surprise was the fact that Ferrari top qualifying too. And Tsunoda got through in P2. And I think Bahrain qualifying was the most exciting couple of segments of qualifying I think I've ever seen. Everything was going on.
He's just cost himself money putting that on, because he could have got money for that from the teams.
He could have sold it. Yeah.
Because some of these photographers work for rival teams.
Yeah, they do. And
it's their job to actually get as many pictures of the underneath and sides of the car
I wonder where
as they possibly can, as close up as possible.
I wonder where Kai Ingman is at the moment, to see if he got any images on it. I'm trying to have a look at his.
And is that the RTL
Instagram.
guy, Kai?
No, he's a freelance photographer, Kai Elman. Here he is. He's at the moment, and
Oh yeah.
yeah, you've seen him before. No, he hasn't put anything on just yet. He's just put pics on from FP1. He was up at
Because
Ravazza's.
the Xbox who presents for RTL,
Yeah,
he's called Kai as well, isn't he?
these are fantastic images, and at Joshua Burch 99 as well, because I've retweeted it as well. It's the easiest one to get to, but that is a fantastic. And I wonder if I can put it towards the camera.
Riberson thinks Marc Marquez is a monster. We agree. He's unreal.
Yeah, I want to get that on the screen, but I can't.
He's so brilliant,
Yeah.
Marc Marquez. He's always been, I mean, Carl used to say that he gets all the data from Mark because of being Hondas.
Yeah.
He gets all the data from Mark's laps and where he brakes and what he does and things like that, just like all the other Honda drivers do. But could he replicate them? Never.
Nope.
That was what Carl said. Never. He said he's inhuman the way he does it.
I said
and it is. This morning I watched him and he really did look
Yeah. Insane, Terminator, robotic.
as if he'd never been away.
I know. That's
He
what's
took
scaring
about
me.
3 laps to start taking the chances.
That's
and
what's
as soon as
scary.
he got his mojo back, there he was
Yeah.
on a fast lap.
Ricardo's time's been deleted for track limits at turn 9. But yeah, I'm very worried about this race on Sunday as well. You can watch it here on the YouTube channel. We don't know if it's live or delayed just yet because of the F1 race. But honestly, I can't wait to see. And there's a cigarette on the tyre there of Max Verstappen's car that's been brought back in. They literally have just wheeled it back, as I
Back
said
through
they would.
that can
Yeah.
only have come
From behind the pit.
from
yeah.
behind in the that access road.
Unless Jason Plato's around, I don't know. Jason Plato says he takes drinking beer and cigarettes over working in the gym any day. But that's just Jason Plato, isn't it?
Well, Jason's
And that was Ricardo.
Jason's only about 10 years younger than me.
Yeah, he's not as young as he was he? At the moment. And
Nobody is.
He's back this year, though, after taking a year out due to COVID. So Jason Plato is back.
Yeah, Jason, who works he's in his day job as one of the senior guys at Silverstone running the place.
Yeah, he was head of the BRDC, wasn't he? This is Toby as well, Toby Gwynner, who's on Twitter, who said that the car was put undercover on a truck bed. It would be carried through the city, around the track to the other side of the pit lane. One guy was joking, they'd take the car straight to Maranello for inspection.
Yeah, 90 miles away.
And that is the problem with COVID. So they've had to take it out the track, over the river, back round the support road, and then back into the pit lane. And of course, Maranello is only about half an hour away from here. It's Ferrari's home track.
There's no truth in the rumour that that Racing Points sprayed one of the cars silver and
Went for it again,
then swapped it with a Mercedes so that they could get all the dimensions right.
I bet they did. There was something more going on there than we ever think
It's
about.
just a joke.
And Edgar Hernandez back there. Hi, Josh. Morning from Mexico. Good morning to you too. Welcome along. And,
Morning in Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it would be morning in Mexico, wouldn't it? It's just gone 2 o'clock in the afternoon here in the UK. We're on an hour earlier on Friday and Saturday due to the funeral of Prince Philip tomorrow. So everything's an hour earlier.
So if it's morning in Mexico, it's morning on NBC4 New York.
Yes. It would be mid-morning, wouldn't it?
NBC4 bringing you the local news.
Just watching the advert again with, I can't remember who said it was this morning. One of the actresses.
It's the girl from, it's the young girl from Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey, right, there you go. So, only a couple of cars left at the track.
She was...
7 a.m. over there in Mexico.
7 a.m.
Wow. You're up at 7 a.m. I got grumpy having to wake up at 7:45 this morning to get up and get into the commentary box. I only just made it as well.
Yeah,
for Moto 3 first practice.
Another big gun incident in the United States with the Federal Express building. Yeah, one of the things. There's about 8 dead.
Oh, I hate it.
That's the third one this week.
Yes, unfortunately.
We don't get NBC4 anymore, but we do still get CBS.
I haven't checked that American survey yet. I'll have to take a look at it.
NBC4, New York.
So we've got Mick Schumacher out on the track, George Russell, Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc out there too. Mazepin's just come out of the pit lane. He's currently running in 20th as well. The two Haas cars not looking great. Schumacher a 1:17.350, Mazepin a 1:19.309.
2 seconds off the pace, nearly.
Yep.
In fact,
2 seconds nearly precisely. Yeah.
Yeah, just over 2 seconds.
That's the problem as well.
He's got no talent.
Yeah. Put it bluntly. That's how you really feel. Put it bluntly. Yeah. Rival says, "Wow, I wasn't paying any attention to the timing sheet, but Gasly is third. Yeah, he was running P2 just before Bottas went up there and Hamilton got back.
Pierre works very hard at what he does, and he's taking his new responsibility as number one driver to
incredibly seriously, yeah.
Very seriously indeed.
I've just noticed as well, actually, completely by accident, the timing screen's actually
Someone
fitted together.
Someone will react to that.
Somebody probably will, yeah. New font graphics is where is it? Over there. New font graphics that I'm proud of. It's the actual F1 font. It took me a couple of days to find that and get it on. We tried having it on in Bahrain, but it just crashed. So we went.
He says he gets on well with Tsunoda, but
Gasly and Tsunoda, yeah.
He said, but most of the things he says to Tsunoda goes right over his head. Well, it would do because Tsunoda's down there.
Tsunoda is actually smaller than Megan.
Yeah, Pierre's not very big. He's about my height. And Tsunoda's actually smaller than Megan.
Yeah, and that's Megan's was sort of tiny, isn't she? I can't work where she is anymore.
But she had her waffles this morning, even though she's banned from using the.
Nobody can use the toaster when we're on here, otherwise the entire box.
Put us off here.
And then nobody wants that. Well, actually, I don't know what
your mum's toaster caught fire once during a race.
Yeah, Sepang 2015.
And the strange thing was that the McLaren hospitality, their toaster caught fire almost at the same time.
Yeah, and in the post show as well, you saw them bringing in a
new toaster.
I love that bit. Oh, here's Mazepin on the.
They got a toaster quicker than we did.
Mazepin's complaining of some strange noisings on the car, and he wants to box. He says there's a big hit on the floor before the last corner.
Big hit on the floor before the last corner. He thinks he's done damage again.
Oh, no. And there's something on the throttle as well. Yeah, downhill.
I think he's suggesting that there's a gearbox problem on that car. But
and there's the big hit would have been the jolting of gears.
Jolting of the gears.
Well, have a look. It's surprisingly, though...
He shouldn't have a gearbox problem second race in.
No, really shouldn't.
He's very unlucky if he has. But then again, he's hit so many things.
He could have jolted... the accident in free practice 1, it was a rear impact as well, so that could have done the gearbox. It'll be a grid penalty.
Yeah, because one of the main things is when you hit at the rear to the wall, you push the drive shaft into the gearbox out.
Yeah, that's what put Verstappen out.
Yeah.
And he just went over the curves at the exit. So Mazepin's still going very slowly on the track. No, he's kept going. Mazepin says, okay, yeah. There's a website now as to how many times has it been since Nikita Mazepin spun. And it's currently only at 2 hours, something or other. He seems to be got going now, which is good news.
Let's call him Roundabout.
Roundabout, yeah, may as well. Oh, he's on the radio again. And he's saying losses to Mick Schumacher. Oh, dear. Mazepin, so this team engineer just came on the radio and said the gap and lost time.
Getting frustrated, isn't he?
Over the radio saying lost time to Mick is at turn 9 and turn 17. gap advantages, and then Mazepin came in the ring and says, "Let's talk about this after the session." Well, sorry, Nikita, you're going to have to talk about it in the session because you need to improve now. You need to find those times now. You can't.
Yeah, he said he says he's got a gearbox problem by the sound of it. So
George,
it's not going to do anything. Good save by Georgie Babes.
George Russell comes out of turn 6 of the Villeneuve chicane, gets a massive oversteer moment, but manages to save it. And I think that shows you the difference between Mazepin and Schumacher. Sorry, between Mazepin and a driver.
Admit.
Yeah. As Alonso is out on the track now in the Alpine. That Alpine looks so
One
weird.
of the craziest statements of the week was that Lewis and George don't get on.
What? They do get on.
Yeah.
Constantly.
I mean, they're not exactly in each other's pockets, and they're not like Alex was. Alex and Lewis talk a lot.
Is that
And
cold?
Lando-
It's totally, I can feel ice cubes at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's iced.
Lando talks to Lewis, but George is very much his own man, and he's even though he's a Mercedes driver, he's not in and out of Lewis's pocket.
He did call him, didn't he, when Lewis had COVID, to say, "How do I drive this car?"
Yeah, it's the journalists making a little bit of trouble because he did so well in Lewis's car.
Riverson said that. Riverson says, "Oh yes, I saw that website about Mazepin's spinning. Yeah, I did too." So that was I think it's just reset itself to about 2 hours, unless it's going to go off again. Mazepin, I think, is coming to the pit lane. I can't see him on the driver. Oh yes, I can. He's coming down out of Ravazza's, so he'll be.
There's a lot of
corners.
off the cuffs talking goes on between Lewis and the British drivers and the Australian driver. Lewis isn't the one who goes and shouts about anything, and most of them don't.
Yeah.
And
where's the camera going?
It helps other people if certain journalists put out sell stories to sell their papers that there's a problem, and there isn't. Nobody knows of a problem.
Now, we saw this device yesterday that down at McLaren, was it? And Red Bull.
It's a laser. It's a laser.
Yeah, they're laser scanning.
Laser scanner.
Now, I've done laser scanning in the past as well. I did it with Nana's house, actually, as I told you. And
Setup heights, isn't it?
Laser scanning is amazing because you can recreate the entire car virtually. So maybe they're just taking this opportunity because they know they're not going to go back out.
They're checking the heights.
Yeah, they know they're not going to probably go out for the rest of the session, so they're just going to laser scan the car now.
They're checking the heights, I think, to the minute detail.
Yeah, and it works. Well, Martin Brundle's standing next to a foghorn, but unfortunately it's glitching like mad, so maybe move a little bit to the left, Martin, and we'll hear him a bit clearer. There you go. Back to normal now. Bottas from Hamilton 1-2. They're just going to do a lap time together. I think Vettel's behind Lewis across the line. Mazepin, I think, is still out the track.
Sky had a few glitchy problems that were at the track yesterday. People, if you think your boxes aren't working right, there was at least 3 during the F1 show that were on the replay as well. So don't worry about it.
Proper glitches, yeah.
Just glitches.
Even we have them up here with the stream. The computer probably won't work. See, there's one now. But I love
Max Headroom fans.
I love the idea as well that Megan also said that if she can't be in the commentary box at one point, she'll do it virtually. So we can splice her in now with split screen vision. So Megan can broadcast elsewhere now that we know that her laptop can do outside broadcasts. After mine failed yesterday miserably.
Yeah, just as we were going on air.
10 seconds in, gone off. So Megan's worked perfectly. I think, but we know what's wrong with the MacBook. It's just a battery that's dead. I don't know why it's dead. I mean, we've only got 1, 2, 3 running off the same thing. So 3 monitors. Yeah, and the plug's down here as well.
No idea.
Tidied up slightly. Can't tell, can you?
Yeah, because your penguin wrapper's gone.
Oh yeah.
Your bag of crisps isn't here.
Hey, I don't eat it in the commentary box. The only time I eat in the commentary box is if it's Le Mans. I'll tell you what, that was quite unusual because where we stand in the commentary box as well, there's
footprints on the ceiling, which we've mentioned before.
But
that's because we had a new roof put on it.
Yeah.
And the boards that are the roof in here.
Yeah.
That were obviously outside during the wet, and the workmen walked over it in
boots. Yeah.
In fact, that boot looks like your boot, Joshua.
Probably was. I can't remember when that was done. Although, not really, if it was 20.
Stop walking on the ceiling, Josh.
Upside down. Dick Van Dyke style. But yeah. I can't remember what my point was going to be with that now. I completely lost it. But yeah.
My medication's wearing off.
Mum, ever so kind, bought me fry-ups in little tins as well, chicken chow mein as well in tubs. It was very nice service to commentate because I couldn't leave the box for 24 hours at the
You
moment.
think you're not spoiled?
It was nice. I enjoyed it.
Do you like his suntan?
I am very excited.
Him and his friend went for a walk down the seafront.
Very warm as well. And it was weird because if you stood still, you could feel the sun on you. But you start walking again, the wind picked up immensely.
Yeah,
So
the rays are hitting you all the time. That's why you've got a
Yeah.
red face.
it's very weird though because it was very cool if you're walking, but if you just stood still, the sun would hit you.
Being a
It was
taxi driver, I used to
weird.
have a really brown arm.
You still do.
Well, yeah, it's browner than the left one.
Yeah, it's permanently tanned.
Mm.
David's got the same thing actually with the other arm. It's all about where you put it out of the car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Truck drivers have the same thing
You need
The
to own a left hand and a right hand drive
Yeah,
car
to
in
get
the
an
summer.
good one. Yeah.
With a sunroof or
Oh, the sunroof. Yeah,
or no
complete
roof
tan.
at all.
Oh no, I can't. To be fair though, I've never found the idea of people with leather seats in the summer in a convertible.
No, but
That would just be ridiculously
bad
hard.
enough in a saloon. We used to
Yeah.
have one.
It gets,
In fact,
it gets hot, yeah.
in fact, the Black Omega had black leather seats.
It did. Yeah, that was hot.
It
got
was hot. Yeah.
Nice though.
Also had a button that you pressed on the console, and on the rear parcel shelf,
Yeah.
two sun visors used to come up.
Yeah.
Used to go. Zzz.
Like Bond's bullet shield. On
Yeah, I
his
told
DB5.
I told.
Oh,
some
hello. Ferrari bringing in a new floor.
Yeah,
And that's fresh
true.
from the factory, isn't it?
I told two customers once. This woman and man I know.
Yeah.
Right, they were about my age.
And there's,
Right, and
there's
the-
McLaren's new...
The bickering
Centre?
on the way back
yeah.
to a certain estate that I spent a lot of time on when I was a kid, and the bickering away, and I go, God, you two, if you don't watch it, I'm gonna
Put the
put
ejector
the
seat.
ejector seat on, and he went, you ain't got an ejector seat, and I pressed the button, and the sun visors came up.
And he
It
could see
sounds
it.
just like an ejector seat,
Yeah.
right? And the shock on his face, and his wife's just laughing like mad. Because he really thought there was an ejector seat.
Yeah.
No, that's just James Bond. But
Hey, I've seen cars with ejector seats.
he's a good lad and he likes a good laugh. And that he says, right, he says, oh, you really got me there. He says, I didn't know what was happening.
Fernando Alonso just ran over the curbs at Tamburello and lost it a little bit. Look at that. So currently on the track.
Well, if you
Leclerc's
run
the
over
fastest.
a tambourine, it doesn't work.
Leclerc's currently the fastest on the track in terms of current pace. 3 laps on his medium stint, a 1:19.1. Sonoda and Gasly looking
It
quite
does something
quick.
to the symbol.
Yeah. Oh, very good.
A bit like Prince.
The artist formerly known as Prince.
Or formerly known as Symbol.
Yeah, not Bono. Which
The
one's Bono?
late Prince.
Yeah. All of them now, thinking about it.
Do you know, I could never get why, with all his money, his house looked like a distribution warehouse.
Yeah. Have you seen what... sorry, just cut across once again.
I
It was
expect
11
him
minutes
to have
ago.
all these beautifully landscaped gardens and things like that. And
Yeah.
it really did look like a warehouse.
Have you seen... I think I liked it or something or other. Let's see if I
Not
can
my
find
type
it.
of
Yeah.
music, but very good at what he did. Donovan and him wrote a lot of good songs together.
Have you seen the funeral carriage for Prince Philip?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Land
It's
Rover.
the Land Rover truck. You have seen it, good. Yeah, the Land Rover truck.
They started making
itself,
that
yeah.
18 years ago.
And
It's
he-
an adapted Defender.
Yeah, he built it. He built it really himself, didn't he? British Racing Green and everything. I thought, how
He didn't like the military colour on it.
no, yeah. So how funny of it to take it through, and he's
So he
literally
put
going
it
in a
British
truck.
Racing Green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going on a truck.
Yeah.
I thought that was fantastically funny.
Well, you think of what he used to get up to
Oh, yeah.
on the estates,
And Sinful's back.
especially at Sandringham with his Range Rover.
Kick the table again. Keep doing that. Yeah.
He's always driving around the estate in his Range Rover, talking to the.
Crashing it every now and then. Crashed
That
it
was
once.
worrying because
Yeah.
he'd driven all those times and he had to give up driving after that.
Yeah.
But he'd driven in all sorts of weathers on that estate.
I know
and
the
at
Queen
Windsor.
still drives.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's impressive.
Our Andrew used to say about 30 odd years ago, he pulled up in central London, and there's this battered old green Rover 80
Yeah.
from 1960s on the left hand side, and you pull up in the second lane, and like you do, you just glance across, and he just glanced across and went, "It's the Queen."
It's the Queen.
But the best one is Philip, right?
Yeah.
Because Philip was a licensed London cabbie.
Yeah.
And his own cab, I mean, he says he never picked up fares, but
He
I won't
must
put
have
it past
yeah,
him.
for a bit of fun. He must
Prince
have.
Philip.
Yeah.
Do you know who you look like, mate? No, I don't. But I do the impression,
He must have.
All right, governor.
Of course, he was president of the Bullingdon Club, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I presume he'd be the honorary now, since he passed away.
No, I just think...
The Bullingdon Club, which was smoking cigars in big velvet jackets. I don't know where they get it from.
It's an Eton thing, isn't it?
Eton, yeah. Science across the line, still P4 at the moment. To quote Murray, must keep your eyes on the motor racing. Although
I am keeping my eyes on the motor racing.
They're all just doing race runs at the moment, so no one's going to send him another time.
And there, the Ferrari takes the chicane and heads towards the...
I've just had a thought. That was through Tamburello into Sky. Just had a thought. What's the weather like tomorrow in Imola? Well, it's still cloudy, but there's a 40% chance of rain on Sunday, and it is decreasing ever so slightly, but there is a chance of rain for the race as well, which might make it a bit more dramatic. Can't remember the last wet race we had here at Imola. I actually can't.
No, we haven't had that many wet races in the last couple of years, have we?
No, well, let's have a think.
So we had wet race at Silverstone.
Yeah. Let's have a think.
And we keep going to Spa and expecting it to be wet, and it's usually brilliant sunshine at the moment.
I would love a wet race at Spa.
It's a good race track.
And this is the qualifying pace. So this
and
is
Lewis Hamilton
hang on. This is who they
turns into the last corner. Is that going to be Sunday?
Yeah. Qualifying pace at the moment. So this is who they predict with all the data, their qualifying positions. And they've put Valtteri Bottas on pole position from Lewis Hamilton. Charles Leclerc just got there into third. Then it's Carlos Sainz, Pierre Gasly, Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez. To have Red Bull that far down, that's a mistake.
This morning when Mazepin went off, you could just hear Murray going, "The benefit of a clear windscreen."
Yeah, he was. I was surprised if Murray was commentating on that, he would say something as well. That was my point this morning in FP1. I forgot about it. About saying about having Jackie Stewart's autobiography signed. We recently acquired a purchase of Murray's autobiography signed
First
as
edition.
well. First edition, yeah, and signed by Murray. That's for my birthday.
You're not spoiled, are you?
No, that's for my birthday on Wednesday, and this is the one thing I demanded to know about. As soon as I knew they were going to get it, that's the one thing I demanded.
Let's have a bingo session.
Yeah.
All the twos, 22.
It's literally the one thing I demanded, and said, as soon as it came through the post as well, I said, "Sorry, I'm pulling rank here. You're not leaving this until Wednesday. I'm
I was
opening this now."
38 when you were born.
Have you just worked that out? Going backwards?
No.
Well, to think about it.
I was there.
Just think about it. I was quite a late baby if you think about it, because you already had
Megan was even later.
Yeah, 42, but 44. But yeah, think about it. You already had 2 kids before. You waited 10 years. I would be considered...
And there's the other 27.
Very funny. I would be considered the late baby. And then you had Megan.
No, you're
6 years later.
You're just the big baby.
Yeah. But no, I'm surprised about that, actually.
You can call Megan the late baby if you want, but she will hurt you.
Yeah, she probably would. But no, honestly...
she could have got hold of you this morning when she wasn't going to have her breakfast.
Oh, no, forgetting that. I had to take her laptop because I'm having to use her laptop to stream the MotoGP race this weekend if we can do it live. And she got angry when I came back in and says, "Have you changed my browser to Yahoo?" I said, "No."
Yahoo!
I think it's because there was an update.
So the Mercedes are top in the charts.
Edgar saying, "Are you Mercedes, Red Bull, or?" Question mark. As other.
I think everybody knows that I am Lewis fan.
I don't think why you've made it quite clear.
I don't like to make it obvious, but
Really?
I thought about it, And I do support
Oh, hang on.
the Brits and the Aussies.
Nikita Mazepin, double lock-up and misses the chicane.
No, he
And he's-
meant it.
oh.
He meant it.
Yeah.
He meant it.
Let's have a replay.
He's trying to get 2 seconds off the lap.
Mazepin saying, I'm on ice, man. Absolutely on ice.
Didn't we used to have those little ball things there? The little bits of polystyrene that Nico used to have to go in and out of because he always used to take that corner off.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
They've
gone.
They've gone.
They've gone.
But yeah, just looking at that as well. Mazepin locking up there. He's
Who
really
was it who
happy.
crashed there?
Schumacher, I think, has crashed previous. We've got a yellow out
Yeah,
on the track.
recently. I think it was it
Who crashed there last year?
Joshua, was it a certain Brendan? Did he crash?
Oh,
really
what's
badly
happened to
there?
Bottas? Oh,
We've got a Mercedes, no,
It's
sorry, a Ferrari
Ferrari.
in the wall.
it's Charles Leclerc at the
Charles.
last corner. And he's taken off the front. That's gone in weird. That's been a snap.
He's just hit the gravel, hasn't he?
Yeah. So it's Charles Leclerc into the wall at the last corner, turn 18, and he's just got a snap and red flag.
Oh, you get a nice little view of the. Have you
Oh, there's the
seen-
Ferrari one as well, the rear diffuser.
Yeah.
He says he's okay, and he's locked up and gone straight on. So he's missed the corner, probably
Yeah.
reacted to it, and has gone straight into the wall.
He's braked twice there.
Yeah, that's not good. So that's cost everyone else the end of the session. They won't restart. Let's take a look at it then. Down towards turn 17, turns in okay. Runs over the exit, turns in. Oh, rear snaps, and then he brakes to try, and it just goes in the wall. That's not big damage, to be fair. That's easily done.
Yeah, well, he actually, as he was going over the gravel, he braked and braked and braked.
Yeah, and
He did 3 brakes because there's 3 different
Here it is
grooves
again.
in the gravel that are deeper than the other. So as you
snaps
brake,
it.
there,
There's brake,
brake,
2,
brake,
3.
brake.
Yeah, and in the wall.
So he reduced the impact.
That's probably better because it would have damaged the front wing as well.
Yeah.
So I don't think the front wing's
Because
damaged.
his front wheels were just going nowhere, but his rear wheels, he still had a lot of braking. I wonder if it's a front brake problem with Charles there.
Race control, the session will not be restarted. So that's the end of free practice 2. It ends under a red flag. Oh no! Look, and Charles Leclerc is going to get a big ticking off from the stewards here because he's got out of the car. He's now walking across the exit curb with cars still going through.
Yeah, but we are under red flags.
Yeah,
so
but still, you're supposed to wait in your car
you
until
are
being told to.
Being told to, but
Yeah.
I think he'll get away with that.
Let's take a look then. Valtteri Bottas ends practice 2 on top.
And
He has
yet
topped
again,
Friday.
We still haven't had a full set of runs from anybody.
We haven't. 25 laps done. Well, they've all done on race runs. No one's actually done a complete lap time. They're going to Q3
Gasly and Sainz have got 30 laps in, and I think they're in the lead.
They are, yeah. They're just taking a look through the monitor.
Everybody's got between 25. Oh, we've got Georgie Russell who did 31.
So Russell's done the most out there, yeah.
Mazepin is Verstappen went off quite early. Still managed 9, and Mazepin still only managed 7 more than him.
Verstappen the lowest on 5. And
because he went off.
Ripers then said, if the browser is Yahoo, it might be because of McAfee. This antivirus is so annoying. Yeah, it's changed mine actually as well. And I did see that McAfee thing this morning, so I'll have a look at that. I think I changed it back just by resetting the browser settings on Google Chrome. Ryman says, oh dear, Leclerc in the wall. And Edgar says, I think Gunther Steiner is pretty happy about Mazza's spin. Laughing emoji as well. Yeah, if you weren't with us earlier, I did read out a tweet from him that said, from Gunther Steiner, who said, from Franz Dieter Renken, Gunther Steiner got a quote, and he said, Mazepin needs to learn that our car is not as good as the Mercedes, which I think is right. And they've just got it now. I think the front wing looks okay. I think is it actually off? Yeah, front wing's off actually, so that's not good for Ferrari.
When our other local team was in the Premiership,
Yeah.
when Hull was in the Premiership, our goalkeepers used to go across to Hull for the specialised goalkeeping coaching. And it caused us problems in the end because of the fact that in our division, the players aren't as good, right? Because, or are potentially going to be as good, but not as consistent. And the shots were coming in training for the goalkeepers at a faster rate than they were used to, right? Which affected them. So that after about 6 months was stopped, and it's the same in Formula One. That car, if you've been practicing like he has in a Mercedes, which is twice
faster,
as fast.
Yeah.
You're braking where your brakes would on a Mercedes, and it's a Haas, and that's what Gunter is on about.
And the Haas car's going to be the worst all season long as well, which is never good. So they've got to learn about that. So is that the second session in a row that ends under a red flag? Because FP1 ended up in a red flag as well. So that's unbelievable thinking about how many times we've had that so far today. So here's your times.
One of our ex-goalkeepers now plays for Manchester United.
Oh, really?
Henderson.
Oh yes, of course, yeah. So it's Valtteri Bottas who tops practice 2.
His gran lives down Car Lane.
Oh.
Near your Uncle Keith and Auntie Ali.
So, free practice 2 ends like this. Valtteri Bottas is the fastest on 1:15.551 from Lewis Hamilton 2nd, Pierre Gasly 3rd, Carlos Sainz 4th, Charles Leclerc 5th, Sergio Perez is 6th, Yuki Tsunoda 7th, 8th for Lando Norris, Antonio Giovinazzi is 9th, and Lance Stroll completes top 10. Good job there from Giovinazzi.
I don't think this hour is working.
No, they might need to change it back, won't they?
You feel like, I don't know about you lot. I mean, we feel like there's been stopped halfway through.
Yeah, we never got the end of the session crescendo of times popping through like we did last time.
Nobody has this last minute burst of energy and gets out there and does something special.
It's going to be different. They might change it back, I reckon. But
yeah, I think they need to.
23 races. They might just leave it. But still, FP3 underway. We're on air tomorrow for the third practice session at 9:50 British Summer Time. Qualifying, our pre-show for that gets underway at 12:40. The session starts at 1. And on Sunday, the Grand Prix Live starts at 1:30 British Summer Time. And the Grand Prix Review is at 7 o'clock as well. And if you're a fan of MotoGP, we'll be having the Portuguese Grand Prix as well on Sunday. Whether it's live or not is determined with how we can work this software. So we'll have more information for that for you tomorrow. If it is live, it'll be at 12:45 UK time. The race starting at 1 as well. And we'll do a dual live with pre-recorded segments.
3/4 of an hour.
Yeah, before.
MotoGP on average. A race at MotoGP is 3/4 of an hour. So
and it's 15
it
minutes
starts at 1. It's usually finished by 10:02 at least.
And that we go on air at 5:02 for the F1. So that's why we're having to see if we can do it live. We will with pre-recorded stuff on one stream and MotoGP on the other. We'll work that out tonight and get it back to you. So, what have you made of today? You've already said.
Yeah,
I don't
think it's too short nowadays.
Yeah.
Both practice 1 and practice 2, we're just getting into the nitty gritty, and it's the end of the session. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, let's hope FP3 tomorrow
I know
is better.
I know that there's at least half the teams there not happy with the fact that they haven't got through the run that they wanted to.
They're going to be angry, and they're going to be out in force later as well. So,
there's already as we was mentioning, there is already this row blowing. Behind
about
the scenes
rules. Yeah,
about the rules, because it's clearly been an advantage to people and disadvantage to others. I mean, this is the point. Yeah, it might make better racing, but you're actually punishing people for doing a good job.
2 questions before we leave. Riverson says, 1 hour is too short. It's like nothing happened. And Seymour Copa says, what are the biggest differences between last year's Racing Points and today's Aston Martin's car? The Aston Martin's car this year has been completely redesigned at the rear. So it's a whole new diffuser and floor layout as well.
And it's a different colour.
It's a different colour as well, yeah. But there is big changes around the floor and the downforce area as well.
Basically, don't shout it out, but basically, it's the same as the Mercedes.
It's the same again. Right, we'll be back tomorrow at 9:50 British Summer Time. Thanks to Ian Burch for joining me in the box today. You can go in now, Dad. I'll see you later tomorrow as well. From us all here, though, bye for now.
Because I'm nearly passing out.
Bye for now.
Bye.